Chronicles TV on air. We are now live in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ace Attorney Chronicles. In the previous episode, we continue on part 4 of the trial. Today's episode right now, this should be the final one, the testimony, but we'll see what happens. If you have today's episode, make sure to like, subscribe, to the channel. The moment of the shooting. While these ruffians were jostling with the broker, I was still near the entrance to the shop. When Windy broke through Nash over the counter, I felt a sharp pain in my arm. I pursued the man, but he shut himself in the storeroom. I could see him through the peephole in the door, though. The accused in black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. Black coat. I saw the blood spattered all over the witch girl. Oh yeah, she was wearing a black coat. Then she tossed the gun out of the peephole, so I picked it up and made my escape. Good gracious, this is quite extraordinary testimony. You claim, sir, under oath, to have clearly seen the defendant pulling the trigger? Order! It wasn't my intention to testify this way, but neither is it my intention to be found guilty of murder I didn't commit. So you see, my hand has been forced. I tell the truth now, as an act of self-preservation. The truth? Until now, the prosecution was completely unaware of these details. Yes, well, sorry about that. Having shot me in the arm, the pawnbroker was then shot in the back by the accused. And as I said, she was showered in his blood. You say the blood splattered over the accused's coat? Are you sure on that point? Oh yes, quite sure. All over the black coat the pickpocket girl was wearing at the time. Really? If her coat could somehow be shown to harbor vestiges of blood, that would be conclusive evidence here. Okay. Such an investigation is entirely possible, my lord. What? Only very recently, a German scientist has developed a technique to identify human blood. You could not provide that before? So here's the true science, not some amateur's detective's dubious foray into the world of chemistry. There's nothing dubious about Hurley's work. His ideas are all sound. Ideas are no use to us here. In science, as in law, theories must be proven before they stand. And you could accept her work? In Germany, the technique has already been employed in the courtroom as the basis of evidence. Scotland Yard has small quantity of the chemical reagent used, with your lordship's permission. We've continued to shatter all vestiges of doubt within minutes. This doesn't look good, Reno. Why not? Well, we know, don't we, that there's blood all over the front of Ginny's coat? If they tested it with the chemicals... Oh, help, you're right. I was forgetting about what happened yesterday. But that's not Mr. Winnie Blank's blood. The stain is from 2 months ago. That's Mr. Mason's blood from when he stabbed by McGilded. My lord, the defense objects to the test proposed by the prosecution. Overruled. Lord Von Zarks, make it at once. You with pleasure, my lord. And while we await the results, the defense may proceed with the cross-examination. Once they find that blood in the overcoat, Gina will be... Counsel? Yes, my lord. Your cross-examination. Of course, my lord. If the cross-examination doesn't go well, if I don't manage to uncover some decisive evidence or a really compelling clue now, I have a very bad feeling about the outcome of this trial. I have an idea what to do. Stop. Alright. What we want to do Go to the last one. Next. 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 I saw the blood splatter all over the wretched girl. Then she tossed the gun out of the people, so I picked it up and made my escape. If this does not testify... Oh, wait a minute. Don't we have the other picture as proof? Oh, wait, no, we can do this. Hold up.
Objection.
What? So let me guess, we have to press on that one or what? She tossed the gun. We have the gun right here. We have the gun.
Hold it.
Did I hear you correctly? She threw the gun out of the room. That's right. After the broker fell to the floor, she started walking over. Over where exactly? In the direction of the storeroom door to where I was watching. Of course, I quickly retreated, and then the girl dropped the gun through the people onto the floor on the side of my door. Or why on earth would she do such a thing? I couldn't tell you. Perhaps she was hoping to distance herself from the murder weapon. But we have the murder weapon in our disposal. So it was you, in fact, who took the third gun from the scene of the crime? Yes, it was yours truly. I left to clear up the lackeys in my left. Clear up? We made a bit of mess around the counter, so Mr. Whistle and Flute are here to tell us to tidy up. He thinks our bloomin' mum sometimes. Well, I was paying you enough, by God. Tell me, Mr. Graydon, when you left the pawnbrokery that night, was it by any chance with the second disc in your jacket pocket? You were like a bull at a gate, aren't you? What did he do?
Excuse me.
Gentlemen? Something wrong, Sunshine? That should be my line. You do realize you were just violently shaking Mr. Skulkin. Blimey, that D's a bit of a hooligan, ain't he? What was going on just now? You saw him. He grabbed me whistle. Why the blazes, he said, didn't you mention the third gun when he got... Wait, what? Why the blazes, he said, didn't you mention the third gun when he... He didn't mention a third gun when he got to the station. And why didn't you? 'Cause we didn't know nothing about it. Or the flaming people on the door. Sorry about that. I can be prone to losing my rag sometimes. Not hurt, are you? Blimey, see the way he's looking at me? I'm telling ya, this D gives me a little the willies. That was strange. The inspector doesn't normally get quite as worked up as that. He would normally grab someone. No, that wasn't like Briggsy at all. He's normally all sweetness and light, no matter what I say to him. Yes, well, I think you might be a special case, Iris. Well, anyway, that was definitely out of character. What's your feeling, Runo? As much as I hate to admit it, I don't see any obvious holes in the testimony at the moment. But you have to find a way to break this man. Quickly too, because once he discovered the blood on the overcoat Gina was wearing, it's a bit strange that he's so sure of himself about seeing the blood splatter over Gina's coat. It doesn't strike me the sort of thing you claim if you had genuinely seen it happen. But we know that Gina didn't shoot Mr. Whitney Bake, so what's going on? All I know is that it's very unfair. Why should some German scientist's test be acceptable as evidence when mine and Hurley's wasn't? Detectives can use these test tubes too. Never mind that, I have to find a really stark inconsistency in the testimony somewhere. And I have to find it before the prosecution discovers the blood stain on Gina's coat. Yes, when the crime was discovered, the defendant was found with a gun in her hand. But that was Mr. Windy's bank gun with only a single bullet had been fired. And as we've already established, Mr. Graydon, that bullet was fired at you. Ah, but no, it wasn't the broker's gun that pickpocketed the girl. When I saw her, yes, the bullet from Windy Bake's gun grazed my arm, and yes, the Skulkin's gun grounded the detective. But this was another gun entirely, a third gun. The broker's gun was not the murder weapon, so clearly there had to be a third firearm involved. In other words, the accused must have had her own gun with her at the time. But no other gun was found at the scene. Calm yourself, counsel. Sorry, you must consider the events in order. At first, I saw the broker and the girl glaring at each other, but then all of a sudden, the broker turned to run, and it was at the moment that the little gutter rat shot him in the back. A chilling image, I must say. I saw the blood splatter over the wretched girl. What do we got? Blood spattered. Could it be just the blood? Could it? And she tossed a gun at the people. I'm assuming it would be the blood.
Objection!
On what ground? The accused in black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood spot over the wretched girl, then she tossed a gun at the people, so I picked it up and escaped. I pursued the man, but he shot himself in the storeroom. I could see through the people in the door, though. The accused in black coat shot the man in black.
Objection!
I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm really not. I really don't. There was a third gun. They all mention it. Let's see. I actually got nothing. What was it? I actually got nothing this time. What? No, stupid! I'm supposed to go back. I was supposed to go back. Hold up. What are we looking for?
Hold it!
You mean that's the moment you were shot? Yes, though I didn't immediately realize what had happened, of course. Things crashed to the floor from the counter that the three men were brawling. It was exactly the moment that it happened, so I didn't hear the gunshot. And the bullet went straight to the calendar in the wall behind you? So it would appear. Then when I looked at my arm, I saw it bleeding badly, so I wrapped my handkerchief around it. Seeing as I could explain it, when it happened to the doctor, I had no choice but to wait for the heal. I didn't imagine it would still be bleeding 2 days later. Did Mr. Windbreak attempt to shoot you too, do you think? Well, now, I don't imagine he would never notice I was there, to be honest. Perhaps the gun went off accidentally. Anyway, it didn't quite strike home. When I put me gun on him, he tried to shove me out of the way, and then scampered for the door out back. At which point, what did you do?
Hold it!
You mean you chased after him? I don't recall the reason why, but I ran after him to the back of the shop. And what about the people in the door you mentioned? Well, unsurprisingly, the storeroom door's a solid job made salt wood. But there's a small opening from the hide that lets you see what's in front of the outside. Actually, I should know that, shouldn't I? I looked through it myself that night. And what about your burgling brothers? Did you see what went through the people as well? Not likely, Gov. Didn't see nothing, sort of, Gov. I doubt these buffoons were even aware of the people's existence. So the Skulking brothers were there, but they didn't see the killing of Mr. Winnybig take place. Inside the storeroom, I could see the broker and the young girl standing there. Yes, though neither of them noticed that I was looking. The girl raised her gun and pointed it straight at the man. And then, what did you see next? The accused in the black coat shot the man in the back as he was trying to flee to safety. I saw the blood splatter over the wretched girl, then she tossed the gun out of the people, so I picked it up and made my escape. She tossed the gun. That's the thing that was inconsistent. That's the only thing I can think of.
Objection!
Nope. Nope. Because we already pressed on that one.
Objection!
Nope. At this point, I have no idea what we're trying to find. That's not the clue. She tossed the gun. What gun was there?
Objection!
I got nothing. I really don't. Because we're talking about the third gun, right? So what exactly are we trying to get at? Well, we have no other evidence.
Objection!
Because right now I'm just playing the guessing game. Because I already went through every testimony on this part. The coat. Was there anything about a gun? Nope, nothing on the gun. Can I open this? What can we determine here? That's the question. Nothing out of the ordinary. I got nothing. I really don't. Not some hidden detail whatsoever. Can we do the thing? No. Because I really got nothing. I really don't.
Hold it!
Oh man, I spent 10 minutes trying to figure out what I can use as an inconsistency. But no, all I gotta do was press the goddamn entire questions. I'm so mad. Okay, if it's one way, I go from left to right. But I'm taking my sweet time because I'm trying to figure out what could be the answer. If not, then the second answer is me playing the random guess and trying to figure out which one I can use for a freaking answer so we can get this moving on with the court case. And the third one is that none of the above, and we just go along with the story, in which I didn't do that. I spent like 10 minutes trying to figure out which freaking... Oh my god, I gotta make sure I gotta edit this out. Requesting your lordship's permission to interrupt the cross-examination. Explain yourself, officer. I have the results of the test that was ordered earlier, my lord. Ah, the blood. The accused's overcoat. Thank you, officer. Very well. The cross-examination is hereby temporarily suspended. I presume you have no objection, counsel? No, my lord. Well, there you have it. The report, police inspector. Yes, sir. Traces of human blood were found in the overcoat of the defendant, Miss Jean Lestrade. From the extent of the stains, it would appear that they were the result of splatting following a gunshot wound. And a report. Goodness me. Oh, I get it now. See, what did I tell you? No, the blood on the coat is not Mr. Windybanks. What on earth makes you say that, counsel? The coat originally belonged to Magnus McGilded. Just before his coat was deposited at Windybanks, McGilded has fatally stabbed Mr. Wason Milverton. So the blood on the overcoat is the blood of the brickmaker from the omnibus case. Well, the dead cannot speak. Isn't that right, my Nipponese friend? Sorry? 2 months ago in this very courtroom, did you not argue fervently that McGillet's innocence? And yet now that the man is dead, you brand him as a murderer? Your conduct shatters any shred of respect you may have earned for yourself in this country. But that was... I call it bloody disgrace, treachery, that's what it is. Now that how determined the blood on the coat is 2 months old or not, we may have to get into another... We are getting to what we're going into, huh? We use Mr. Sholmes specifically formulated... Mr. Sholmes is a detective, not a chemist! Would you put such faith in chemical formula devised by me, for example, when a communications officer? I held a Parazoki to starving boy, and he ran away crying. Herlock Sholmes is barely more than a figment of the public's imagination. His name carries no weight in the courtroom, no weight at all. How could you say that? Victory is sweet indeed. This proves my testimony. This is the whole truth from start to finish. How do you arrive at such conclusions, sir? As the witness said, the accused's coat was splattered with the blood of the victim. The only way Mr. Graydon could possibly have known the fact is if he saw it happen. In other words, his testimony is solid. The conclusion is singular. It was the accused who shot the victim in this case. That is the whole truth. He's conspiring with the inspector. I learned a long battle this one, but this old warhorse has been something to say now, if you please. Here we go again. We're gonna get into another one. As the moment, sir, this court has reached its final decision. Ready, men? All for one now?
Guilty.
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 Here we go again.
Guilty.
Use your head, son! Well, it would appear the ladies and gentlemen of the jury have reached a unanimous verdict. The defense has consistently failed to unpick this witness testimony. Here's to any attempt you may make at unpicking the jurors' decisions being equally successful. I don't believe it. After I've come so far, how is it unraveling on me so fast? So, do the thing. How very distressing to be held in such a low esteem. Who? Will you agree, Mr. Naruhodo? Officer? You delivered the report now. That will be all, thank you. It occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Naruhodo, that scientific truths are determined not by science, but by none other than the human mind. I know that voice. Am I going mad? Mr. Sholmes! What? What is the meaning of this? Order! Order! What business do you have here, detective? The last I heard, you were recuperating in hospital. As well I would be, but had not been set up an errand. What errand?
Hurley, it's really you! You're awake at last!
Yes, good day, Iris. I appear to be rather late to rise. My apologies. Now, my lord, if you will humor me. In what manner, sir? I have something of great importance I wish to give to the young lawyer over there. I need no more than 5 minutes. Would you be so kind to spare us the time? What say you this, Lord Von Zykes? This trial has taken many hours of the court's time, having spent so long already. Exactly! Having spent so long, we don't want to go wasting any more precious time. As I was saying, having spent long already, it would seem cherishly to deny the defense a mere 5 minutes. Very well then, counsel, you have 5 minutes. My dear fellow, I apologize for my tardy arrival. Mr. Sholmes, are you alright now? Alright, I'm all wrong. Sorry? I've only just managed to summon the strength to stand a man. I asked the judge for 5 minutes. But I fear even that may prove too much for me. Pray forgive me. Should I pass out? Let's make this discussion as short as possible.
Hurley, this place is full of idiots! None of them can see how wonderful your chemical blood analysis is.
Ah, well, that concussion of mine was really just a bit of sport to assist me in my investigations. I never took the trouble to refine it by appraisal by the scientific community, and oversight on my part. Right, modesty, surely not. But enough of that, I'm here to give you this, my dear fellow. What's that? A lavender furoshiki wrapping? Leaving a present from Mrs. Sato. From Mrs. Sato? If possible, matters were to be settled without me giving you this. Those were her instructions when she asked me to do her this favor. I don't understand. Mrs. Sato foresaw today's events, I believe. She knew the culprit would attempt to escape justice by means both devious and underhand. And that you, Mr. Naruhodo, fighting fairly as you are, won't do, would find yourself in considerable peril. At the very moment of crisis, you were to be given this small parcel. Those were their lady's instructions. A leaving present from Sasato? Whatever could it be? The whole thingamabob?
Oh! It's the machine I made.
For what purpose are we having this here? What hole are we trying to create? Wagahai!
But it's just to make holes.
For what? What are we trying to make?
What's Susie up to?
Mr. Sato muttered the following words before she left. I'm a failure. I don't deserve to be a judicial assistant. What? She didn't say something like that. Didn't she say something like that? You really are the best judicial assistant in the world. Yes, we've been there. Whatever did she mean by that, Mr. Sholmes? The night when you left Wendy's back in pursuit of the thieves. Mr. Sato made use of the contraption for a certain purpose. She made the peephole? That is your answer, dear fellow. No, not at all cryptic then. So that'll use this capital mat that night? But why? Because the thing wasn't there before? It wasn't there before? Your 5 minutes is over. We're out of time. I'm grateful to you for affording us a brief recess, Mr. Reaper. I need no thanks, Detective. After all, the die is cast. Is it really? The jurors are unanimous in the leadings. No doubt my learned friend will consider a summation examination. But any attempt to alter the verdict now would be utterly futile. I wonder... Mr. Naruhodo? Yes? The rest is down to you, dear fellow. What is your plan? The rest is down to me. I need to be careful here. If I make a wrong move, the trial will end badly. My lord, defense requests a summation examination. Oh, what the heck? Because... now I get it. That thing wasn't there before. That's what happened. It wasn't there before. I get it now. So we were looking entirely wrong. Further cross-examination.
Objection.
The jurors have spoken. Protocol dictates that you may cross-examine a new witness now. The defense is not asking for a cross-examination of a new witness. Rather, to continue with one of the existing witness. What? It would appear that a rather important detail has escaped your attention, Mr. Reaper. My lord. Requesting your lordship permission to interrupt the cross-examination. We interrupted it, that's why. It was suspended. Same thing that happened during the freaking summation examination. It was suspended, not fully to one extent.
So nobody can say anything then. If Bruno asked to resume this cross-examination of Mr. Graydon,
The court was obliged to allow it. This is absurd. The vampire has his weakness. I will remind the president that this is my courtroom. I concur that the defense is entirely within the rights to request a continuity of cross-examination. However, I will not permit any other remaining protraction of these proceedings. Therefore, I have decided to afford the defense one final opportunity in concluding the cross-examination. Counsel, you must choose but one statement from the witness testimony, and but one piece of evidence to present to support your argument against it.
a single chance to present evidence.
If following that the situation remains unchanged, I shall move to adjacent blah 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 blah. Is that clear, counsel? You will not present witness any further. My lord. Yes, my lord. A single statement and a single piece of evidence. Most generous. Well then, Mr. Naruhodo, it's high time I fell in a dead faint. I leave this in your capable hands. Doctor! Mr. Sholmes! The doctor's right there. To be continued, part 5? We'll just end it off right here. Like, comment, subscribe, Chronicles 69, I'm signing out.